everyone. Welcome to the Juneville podcast, where we discuss classic books. I'm Angelica, and in today's episode, I'm discussing Till We Have Faces, chapters 15, 16, and 17 with Adalyn, who is 15 years old, and my daughter Esther, who's 14. It's an awesome conversation about what it really means to be feminine or masculine, and what true good leadership is like, and what it means to have a veil over your face. I hope you enjoy this fantastic conversation.
We come in, and Orual just came across the river, and she's like, oh, did I do the right thing? I'm just going to sit here and wait and see her light and know that she's doing what I'm asking. And then she sees Psyche's light, and then Psyche starts wailing. And this thunderclap happens, and the whole mountain starts falling apart. And Psyche's crying, and it's horrible. And then this giant figure shows up, and he says, "You've ruined her, and you too shall be a Psyche." And Orual, he goes back down, and the king goes out on another sorting party, and he comes back, and he falls on the ice and breaks his femur. But he's gonna die. Then she goes on this midnight walk in the garden, and she hears this woman weeping, and it sounds like Psyche. And she's like, what in the world? I've got to go get her. Esther, Psyche, she yells, and she goes down into the garden, and it's a guy. Well, his name is Trunia, Prince of Fars. Okay. So then they go inside. Prince Argan is 10 miles away from the city. They're saying, give us Trunia. So apparently there's this rivalry going on between the two brothers. So anyway, they're trying to decide what to do. So she's like, how good of a fighter is Argan? And Bardia goes, 2 people at this table are better. And she's like, okay, what if we have someone that's really doesn't seem like they'd be good, but they are good to fight him, and let's see if they win. So she said, I'm going to go fight Argan and beat him. And if I win, then everyone's going to love me. And if I die, I'm dead. What do you guys think being a Psyche means?
Oh, I don't know.
So I think it means that she's going to go through trials, and she's going to pay for her sin, just like Psyche did.
Mm-hmm.
Also, maybe that she'll become beautiful.
What? One day she removes the veil, and she's actually beautiful now.
Wow. No,
I don't think so.
No. So I think that it means that... Read the line for us, my mother.
Psyche goes out in exile. Now she must hunger and thirst and tread hard roads. Those against whom I cannot fight must do their will upon her. You, woman, shall know yourself and your work. You also shall be Psyche. No flow.
So I think it definitely means that Psyche is gonna be cursed by the gods, those of whom he has no power. And she will go through a lot of trouble because of disobeying his rules.
Yeah.
So the same thing will happen to Orual. She will know how ugly she is. She will know how hated she is. She will know such a horrible person she actually is. And I think that she will, by being Psyche, she will go through the exact same horror of being unwanted and being unloved and being not in the right place.
Gotcha.
That's what I think. Mm-hmm.
I really liked this chapter, but it was so hard for me to read. I think because I was so excited to find out what would happen. I was like speeding, and I was like, no, pay attention. And anyway, it was hard for me to read, but I like the mountain falling apart. I wonder if this is like the fall, actually. I think I've said that before about something else, but this is the fall because Psyche was in paradise and now she's in exile.
Now let's go back to the Till We Have Faces theme.
Yes.
Cupid, he comes up and his head is particularly described, but Orual is like, oh, he was giant, but I didn't take note of his giantness. He was towering above me in all of his glory. And I think she describes his head was huge, but she didn't think it's huge.
She said he was beautiful. And now she doesn't have a face.
Yes, she decided to be faceless.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
She got home and she decided she'd always wear a veil.
Mm-hmm.
Because of her ugliness, and she knew that she has power whenever her face isn't seen. So I don't know what she's actually thinking.
And
Is that good?
Yeah. I wondered that same thing. It was strange because really her ugliness hadn't even been an issue for her. She didn't care. Although she did see the impact of it on her life, but it wasn't like she was like upset about it ever. And then she's like, I made a treaty with my ugliness that I will keep my face veiled. And then later references how much more powerful she is with a veiled face. Backtracking a little bit, but it's on the same lines. It was interesting to me that forced revelation is evil. That's what Orual forced Psyche to reveal who her husband was, and that was totally wrong and out of line. I just think that's interesting, instead of accepting the revelation that she did have already.
That chapter is just interesting in general. There wasn't much content in it, but it was just interesting. She would nod off, or she'd have these fantasies of being mourned. She said it was selfish of her to want to be mourned. She had this fantasy of she was dead, but everybody she ever loved was around her, and they were crying, and the fox was wailing, but Bardia's tears were like slow. But then she was like, why would I ever think that? I won't even reveal what brought me to that thought, because it was just kind of wrong. And I don't know why it would be wrong to want to be loved, or when you die to be mourned. But, it was just very weird.
Yeah, she's wrong on so many things. That reminds me of Orual says basically she's trying to dam up her sorrow instead of sweetening the water. Being a queen, it wouldn't make my life sweeter, but it would block off this pain that I'm feeling. And it seems similar to that kind of attitude. Like, why would I even want to be mourned? Let's just block that off and think I don't even care. It's not healthy and it's not helpful. It's sad. And it almost cuts you off from what would sweeten it. She would be mourned by Fox and Bardia. When she said, I don't know what I'm going to tell the fox about this. And I'm like, you tell him the truth. Like, why is that even a question? She's really manipulating the truth. It's ridiculous. You tell the fox the god appeared and the mountain crumbled and Psyche ran away, but she's a liar.
Yeah, she didn't tell him the whole truth, which what kept her from saying it was she didn't want to be called mad and have the fox's rejection. Mm-hmm. She was scared of man. That was her problem. And the fear of man, fear of God, I think that's a theme that she brings up, is that she's scared that man will reject her because she believes in this God. And she's faced that all of her life. Like, she's never wanted to bring up the gods around Fox because she was scared he would go off on one of his tangents about there's no such thing and whatever. And so she's just scared of that rejection.
Mm-hmm. And I was very impressed with Fox when he knew she was hiding something from him. And, he asked kind of about it. And then he says, friends must be free. And he says, if we cannot persuade our friends by reasons, we must be content and not bring a mercenary army to aid human passions. So my point is that the fox accepted that you can't control your friends and friends should be free to make their own choices. So we don't force our friends, which is the opposite of what Orual did to Psyche when she made her do something she didn't want to do in the name of friendship. Any other thoughts on Orual's unrepentance?
I think she didn't like to accept that she had ruined Psyche.
Yeah, the cost would be very high, right? For her to admit, I'm the one who did this. She's infuriating.
Mm-hmm. We've talked about this before, but she was not seen as a woman anymore because of her ugliness, of her facelessness. So she was more manly. So Bardia mentions again, that you are a man. So, because you would have been such a great one. And then there was all these different times where she was like, and I was spoken to like a man, which I both rejoiced in and hated because she was not treated like a woman. And so, which can be a good thing at times. And she had information and stuff. And considering how her father treated all women other than her, that was a good thing that she was treated like a man. That's been brought up before. But to Bardia or the fox or somebody else, you'd feel rejected a little bit. I don't know how to explain it, but you'd feel like they're not getting the whole you.
Yeah.
And they're kind of rejecting that part of you and making you into something you're not. She's put in this manly position and given manly features, not like physically, but they give her all these manly things like sword fighting.
Yeah.
Like that's typically a manly thing. And the fox, he hates it because he thinks, women shouldn't fight. But Bardia gives her that because he sees her as more manly, masculine. And it's really weird. And I think because she's ugly is why they do it.
Yeah.
And that's really crazy to me.
Yeah, me too. What Bardia said was super painful. To say to a woman, oh, if you had only been a man. And she says he meant it in a good way, but it was like cold water in your soup. It's just a common struggle, even in classics, not just in modern life. But Jo in Little Women, she would make comments like, oh, I just should have been born a boy. But she ended up a great woman, very, very womanly. But I just wonder, what do they mean? What do they think is a woman? And herself, she does it too. Why would she reject her femininity,
Well, she has none.
That's not true. She is a woman.
Well, see, what they think a woman is a meek, weak, beautiful, young little creature. And she has none of that. She's not weak. She's not meek. She's not little. And she's not pretty either. I think what a woman is this is a very hard definition. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It is a female creature who is created for the help of man and for almost the beautifying of the world by their touch and by their voice and by all that. Obviously, she has a nice voice.
Yeah, she has a nice voice.
That's what I think a woman is. And she doesn't understand what a glory it is to be a woman.
Yeah.
I mean, just because you love an older lady doesn't mean that they're probably not going to be very pretty.
Right.
But you love them for who they are.
Yeah. Like a beautiful soul. Right. I loved your list of what it means to be a woman. And I would add to be able to nurture others, which is another place she failed with Psyche.
Which there are a lot of things that I wouldn't say like are unfeminine of her. Like sword fighting doesn't necessarily have to be a masculine thing. There's nothing wrong with her being these things. It's just she views them as masculine as her problem, and everybody else around her does. And they try to put specific labels on every single thing, like, oh, you have to be this way to be a woman. And so they the second she kind of crosses that boundary line, they instantly make her more masculine. And I know that sounds a little like woke of me, but I didn't mean it in that way. I just think they tend to get the definition of masculine and feminine wrong.
Yeah.
So at points in time.
And I think a woman just shows love in all of her actions, or at least I think she should.
Yeah.
Yes.
So even the sportiest woman you'll meet may like little children and may treat them well. I think they're just different. Men are meant for like physical labor and leadership. And women can be leaders too. They have to be. They're supposed to lead their children and lead other women. But still, she misses love in her actions that show that she would be more feminine.
Right.
And men should be loving too. But there's just this difference. I don't know why.
Yeah.
In just the way they treat other people. But it's just hard for me to see almost any feminine qualities in her, honestly.
Yeah. Which we know she has good friends. So she must show love to Fox, Bardia, and Pooby, right? In some way. Pooby cried over her wound. She's not cruel to everyone. She's not her dad. There you go.
She almost is.
I know. And they brought that up. She talks like her dad sometimes, right? And I do think it's her view of self that is her problem. A thing I was thinking about with sword fighting is not just, it's not soccer. Right.
No.
Like it's meant to kill people.
Yeah.
And so, although I don't think it's wrong for her to learn to sword fight, I'm glad she did. Right. But it is even more masculine because it's designed for violence.
Yes.
But I do think it's not all the things you do that makes you more masculine. It's maybe what you lack, like what Esther's saying. It's not doing the government or the sword fighting. It's a lack of nurturing others or beautifying the world around you or supporting male leadership that makes you masculine, maybe.
I really do think that it is treating everyone else like they are lesser than you.
That makes you more masculine.
Yes, because every older woman that you love is someone that supports you.
Yeah.
And that's their quality.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing that I think of. They're
Supportive.
they're very supportive. And even leaders that I know that are women that lead maybe in school, like teachers and principals and stuff, but they are always trying to build you up to be the best you could be.
Yeah.
And that's what I think a woman is supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, but then she's just throwing it out the window. And also she just isn't around other women.
That's right. She said that. She's like, I don't even know the women.
No.
Yeah. Well, the only problem I have with what you're saying is if you flip it and you're like, well, then because she's not supportive, she's like a man. That just isn't right either, because men are also phenomenal, right? Like you said, everything they do should be from love. Well, you could say that about a man, but they do it differently. So it's interesting because they should fight for their family because they love them, you know?
I think almost men's sword fighting should be offensive and women's defensive. You could argue and fix me on this, but I don't think that we should make women go and fight offensively.
Right.
You can find women that are very good at that, but still, I just think that that's not their point in life.
Right.
They're supposed to be the support behind it. They have so much influence.
Yes.
That a good woman will be behind most good deeds, and a bad one will be behind a lot of bad ones.
Right.
She doesn't seem like she's using her influence for good or bad. She's just completely throwing it away.
Yeah. Who's she influencing? She's not. She's the spearhead, right? Where in the ideal world, you've got men on the spearhead, and they're the ones that are really getting attacked. They're the front lines. And then women are essential supporters that you can't do without in great acts.
They think more strategically a lot of times, or emotionally even.
Yeah.
Where men, it's more like, all right, they're coming at us. We got to fight. You'll usually have a woman who's like, well, not right now. You got to pick your battles. But what I thought of when you said the offense and defense thing is the sword fight that she's planned between she and Argan is defensive.
Yeah.
It's not like she's going into their kingdom.
No.
Or trying to purposefully fight them. She's trying to defend her home.
Right.
And it's a one-on-one single. Nobody dies except one of them. And so it's this very defensive thing. And even she says earlier on, she was glad she learned sword fighting in case anybody ever does attack her, or becoming a beggar woman, because she thinks that's what's going to happen since Cupid cursed her, that at least I have my sword fighting, so if anybody tries to hurt me, I'll be able to kill him.
Right.
And it was never a offensive thought.
No.
That's what makes her sword fighting feminine.
Yeah.
She does it for her own protection.
Yeah.
Not for, let's go conquer a new land, or let's go out and defend our home from these potential threats.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, this attack is coming at me right now, so I need to defend myself.
Yeah.
The quality of a good queen would be someone that could go and fight for her country.
Yeah.
But in peacetime would be able to nurture the country. And I don't think she has that quality.
Oh, no.
That is what does not make her feminine. Being able to go fight for a country does not make her masculine.
Right.
But not being able to calm herself down afterward is what's making her more masculine, I would say. And even a king should do that too. But she's like a boxer who goes and fights someone in the ring, comes out and starts fighting in the stands. Like, she's going to cause broiling in her country, and that just can't go well.
Which I liked some of her thoughts. She seems like, in some ways, a phenomenal leader when she knew the priests and the kingdom needed to live in peace with each other, and it was worth giving up the land. You know, she seems like she will be a wise ruler in some ways. But yes, she just lacks this nurturing quality. But except she had it with Psyche, but look how twisted that got.
Yeah.
It wasn't true nurturing at all.
It was possessiveness.
Yeah.
Which she reminds me a little bit of Queen Elizabeth I, in the sense that I'm not beautiful enough anyway, so I'm never going to get married. Then the fighting in a time of war to defend your country. Queen Elizabeth, one of her most known feats was going out during the war with Spain and rallying her troops.
Yep.
Because I may have the heart of a woman, but I have the stomach of a man. And so, wow, look at her. She's so powerful. It was a feminine thing to do because she never went out on the battlefield and she never did anything. But she was there to rally her troops and show that she was willing to fight with her country, for her country, in defense, you know?
And she had the heart of a woman.
Yes, that's right. She wasn't like, I'm no woman. I mean, that'd be ridiculous. She even presented herself in a white dress with armor.
Yes.
So she was presenting herself as a woman, and it was so inspiring to all the men who were like, we will fight for our queen. It's just stirs you up much more than if she had presented herself as a man. Let's do this, you know, and they're like, okay, I guess.
It's also more inspiring to fight for a woman rather than for a king, you know? Like, if a king had done the same thing, I don't think they'd be half of them rally. But since a woman was out there telling them that you guys are going to fight for me and for your country and for all your families at home just like me, then that's much more inspiring.
Yes.
I think the dream is Emma and the Green Emperor.
Yep.
This is a spoiler, but she never wanted to be a queen. Mm-hmm. She wanted to be a healer, working with a bunch of other healers to heal the land. But when the time came, she had to become a queen. It's a copy of the Queen Elizabeth thing, but you can know her inner hate of being a queen inside. But she would heal the land, and she was going to be a great queen. So she makes a speech like that.
Or Sarah Cobbler in the Wingfeather Saga. She's a lot like that. They call her Queen Sarah. Yeah. She's not a real queen, but she is this leader figure in all these children's lives. And she kind of picks herself up, and she decides, I'm going to be the nurturer. I'm going to be the one that takes care of them. And that's what made her a queen to them. Is that she was there at the head, but she was taking care of every single one of them. She knew every single one of them. And it was such this moving thing that she would take her time and do that.
Yeah. The most inspiring queens are not king copycats.
And also, I feel like most queens are not happy as being queens.
No.
I mean, throughout history, you think about it, it's not like something that they just enjoy their life doing. Yeah, I don't know.
One more thing I want to bring up from the Green Ember. The main theme of the Green Ember is loyalty. My place beside you, my blood for yours. And so in that scene, when the queen says that to her people, and she's saying, I don't just expect you to fight for me, but I would give my blood for you. It's just amazing. And that's something I see none of in Orual. I know she wants to do what's best for her country, but it's more as, like she said, as a dam for her own emotions, not because she loves her people.
It's a selfish thing. She longs to be queen to dam herself up. That's opposite of what we were just talking about, how they don't want to be queen. They don't like it, but they still do it anyway. She wants to be queen so that she can bar up all these emotions and so she can have this distraction. Mm-hmm. That's not healthy. That dam's going to break eventually, right? As they always do. You can't jar up your emotions. And so she's just setting herself up for failure. She's setting up her kingdom for failure because her rule is going to be a selfish one.
Yeah. And it is not because she's ugly. You can be very ugly and be very loved. It would be very hard to grow up and always have people make comments about how ugly you are. That'd be super hard as a woman. And like you said, old women are not pretty. If you take all ages, but they're still such beautiful people. And she could have been an ugly, beautiful person and been loved by her land without a veil, even.
So she really is lacking almost all beauty whatsoever in her soul.
Oh, I just had that thought that what if this veil represents the dam?
Oh, yes.
It's a visual representation.
And then when it goes away, she has a face. And then it's no longer waiting till we have faces.
Wow, we just solved the
riddle.
What do you guys think about Fox and Bardia's rivalry?
Oh, yeah.
Like, Bardia is so much better.
I mean, Team Fox or Team Bardia?
It's like Team Jacob or Team Edward and Twilight. No, but it's totally different. So Fox has this deal where if people comment about his situation or how he became a slave or how he was a coward or whatever, he gets immediately defensive. But he does it to Bardia. He turns around and doesn't take his own emotions into account. But Bardia, he calls him like a word weaver. Ooh, so scary. But it was so funny to me how they go at it. But now the comments about Bardia's wife make sense because they have a rivalry.
Oh,
so it was kind of like a comeback. Like, yeah, your wife, it keeps you by the apron strings because he's just trying to talk bad about him.
Mm-hmm. I think that the second priest is the greatest of them all. And
yes.
maybe because he's a young, wise man.
Yeah.
That's what we all like. Everyone likes young, wise men.
Oh, yeah. I think I like Bardia better. He seems more down to earth, which is weird because he's the one that actually believes in the gods. You would think the fox would be more down to earth, but I think the fox is not down to earth because he's philosophical.
Yeah.
This is a whole.
He has to reason away obvious signs of the gods, and Bardia is just more like, I just make my sacrifices. That's it.
He honors Orual for who she is.
Yeah.
I like that.
His only two faults is making her more masculine. So it's, oh, I wish you were a man. And he never wants to dive deeper into the gods.
Right.
He accepts that they're there and he makes the sacrifices and boom, that's it. He doesn't go any further than that. He doesn't try to look for the beauty. He doesn't try to make them something more. He doesn't long for that like said he did. He's very content where he is.
Yeah. Bardia respects Orual's strengths in seeing that she can sword fight and teaching her that. I think that's a good thing. But Fox does respect her as a woman. And that's why he's the only one who is like, no, she's a woman. You shouldn't send a woman as your champion. And so he does actually hold, he doesn't think, well, she's ugly, so for sure. I mean, she can act like a man, fine.
Rediva's gotta hook up with one of the princes.
Prediction.
I think she should.
Yeah.
And then, or not should, I think and it will happen.
Well, a hot man shows up in the kingdom, Rediva's going to hook up with him.
Yes. And then that's going to be the nephew we hear so much about in the very intro of this book.
Who was
good
it that
prediction.
she talked about that his cheeks were as lean as a eunuch? Was that Trunia or was it the priest?
Trinia.
No, I thought it was.
No, it was the priest.
It was the priest.
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh, that was really weird. But what got me was like he was still weaponed. I was like, weaponed?
I know. Why does this mean? Like, you can't use... I have no idea how much we should read into that sentence. So let's move on.
Yes. I sat there for a solid minute or so rereading, like, C.S. Lewis, what are you talking about?
I think that Orual's gonna lose or win. I don't know. All right, let's make a bet. I'll buy candy bars for whoever's right.
I think she wins.
Yeah, she's probably gonna win.
She's probably gonna win.
Wow.
Because she's not gonna win, obviously.
No, she's not gonna die.
See, but she's gonna. See, Argan's gonna be like, I cannot kill Adalyn.
Oh, that's a good call.
So she's just gonna
She's
be
like, I'm
humiliated.
not a woman, I'm ugly.
Will Trunia be very important? Because I want him to be safe.
No, not very. He'll probably get up there with, like, I don't know. It's like a tertiary character.
I also found it funny that he was described as like tall and slender, and most women find that very attractive. But it was very funny to me that C.S. Lewis would write that because like he has to get to the mind of all that. What do women find attractive? Tall, slender man.
I think what made me like him was that she said she could hear the weariness in his voice, but then he just took off running.
Yeah.
And then fell. And it was just so funny. I was like, this guy, he's so funny.
That line still gets me. Curse to God who invented the ankle.
I thought that was hilarious because my kids sprain their ankles all the time, you know?
For some reason, councils are always fun.
They're so fun.
They're so fun.
In every book.
Yeah.
In Harry Potter, there's the Order of the Phoenix.
Exactly.
That's kind of like a council. Like you've got Remus and Arthur and all these different just people, and every time they get together, you're like, what's more about the Order, you know?
Yeah.
And you feel Harry's like longing to be a part of it, but also to know all this information about it.
So it must be fantasy thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're full of smart people, and it moves very quickly with councils. You know, they make decisions so fast, and it moves the plot along so much. Usually, you know, they make a decision.
And you learn more history.
Yeah. Or even in our Wilberforce book, Amazing Grace, there's the Parliament. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Like even if it's not technically a council.
Yeah.
But it's this like decision making group, and it's always interesting to hear what goes on in there.
Yeah.
So do you feel that way about the Senate in the House of Representatives?
I mean, it's not historical, so it's kind of lame.
You're like my dad. Like, why would I read a book about real life? I have to live real life. Yes. I'm always really thankful for any time I get to have such a rich conversation on gender especially with teenagers. It's really hard to define what is masculine and what is feminine, but discussing it is so profitable for our thinking. Thank you so much for joining us. Next time, we'll be finishing book 1, which is chapters 18 and 19. I hope you enjoy this book as much as I do.